guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the pregnancy test that I individually opted out of, and this was just my own personal choice. I wanted to make sure that I researched all the tests. I made sure to ask questions about risk of miscarriage. I made sure to wonder if the test was relevant to me. And then I had to make my own individual decision because it's my body and I feel like I know what I'm comfortable with and what I feel like my baby might need. Of course, talking to my doctor and talking to my doula. So there's a lot of tests that they do give you when you're pregnant. There are a lot of them that could be optional. There are some that may not be offered in your country. This is just a list of the ones that I decided for personal reasons I did not want to subject my body and my baby to. So the first test I opted out of was in the first trimester, and it was genetic testing. They do some genetic testing to find out if your baby has a risk of having Down syndrome or other genetic abnormalities. I decided not to take this test because there were a bunch of different genetic tests they could do, and some of them carried a risk of miscarriage because they were sampling your uterus fluid, whatever. And people who get these tests usually are wondering if their baby has problems so they can have an abortion and start over again, or just to prepare, or there might be various reasons people would have these tests. But I don't mind waiting till my baby comes out to figure these things out, and the extra blood work and the extra tests that were pretty invasive I just didn't really want to do, didn't feel like spending the money on, so I decided to opt out of those. There were two tests that I decided were not right for me in the second trimester. The first one is the gestational diabetes test, and the reason I decided to opt out of this is from the drink that they give you to take, that you're supposed to drink it an hour before you take the test. And when I researched this drink and looked at the actual one they have at our office, it has a bunch of stuff in it that I would never even put in my body, even if I wasn't pregnant. And now that I am pregnant, I'm even more hypersensitive about the things that I eat, and I just wasn't comfortable drinking this. Some of the ingredients in it, and I asked to take a picture, but they said no, so I just kind of wrote them down. It's basically corn syrup, which is GMO, and there's 50 grams of sugar polymer, and I don't eat anything with over 20 grams of sugar at once, ever. So I felt like this would probably shock my body. I don't ever eat anything with that much sugar in it at once. There was also a lot of food coloring. There was red 40 and yellow this or that, and I don't eat anything with food coloring in it. So I was really not interested in drinking this. However, if I do have any kind of weird vision problems or signs of gestational diabetes, then I certainly will get my blood sugar checked, maybe using a different method, or I'll buy one of those things and just check it myself after every meal. I'm just not comfortable putting that kind of toxins into my body while I'm pregnant. I'm surprised that they offer that drink to pregnant women, but everyone's different and everyone has to make the decisions about their body and their baby, but I just felt this wasn't right for me. The second thing that I refused in my second trimester is the Tdap and flu shot. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but they want to give you a vaccine in your second trimester to help protect you and your baby against certain diseases. First of all, I've never had the flu except for one time when I was 18 years old, so I feel pretty confident that I'm not going to be getting the flu while I'm pregnant and that my immune system can handle, and the flu shot isn't 100%, it's just for certain strains. So I feel like opening myself up to a vaccine when I don't really need to just isn't necessary. And for the Tdap shot, I don't know if you know, but I had serious seizures as a child with vaccines. So I did get all my vaccines later on when I was a little bit older, but when I was a baby and they tried to give me vaccines within 24 to 48 hours, I would have huge seizures and my mom would have to rush me to the hospital. So since I'm pregnant and my immune system and my body is going through all these different changes, I decided not to get a vaccine on top of that, and just to rely on my own immune system to combat these things. Because I don't want to I think it's a greater risk that I could have a seizure, and that would be really harmful or could potentially be very harmful to my baby, rather than get this vaccine when I may not even need it. So in the third trimester, there are 2 tests that I'm looking at opting out of. The first one is the Group B screening. If you don't know, Group B is a bacteria that normally grows in your intestines, and it can grow in your vagina, like most normal people have this. And in a vaginal birth, your baby can be exposed to this and it can make them sick. However, in my research, I found that only if you're positive, so if you test positive for it, your baby has a 2% chance of catching this. And of the babies that catch it, only 0.6% of them have any serious complications. Also, my doctor said that the Group B, I forgot to say that if you are positive, they want to give you antibiotics during labor, which means you have an IV, which means you're basically tied to your bed. You can't move around, you can't, squat and have different birthing positions, which is an option that I feel like I really want. So that's why I'm not taking this test, because I don't think it matters if I'm positive or negative, I was looking into it, and most countries don't even test women for this, just because the risk is so low. I'm pretty confident that it's not a danger to my baby if I happen to be positive, and I'm not worried about the side effects. The last thing I'm going to opt out of in the third trimester are the vaginal checks they want to give you. So when you come in and you're like at the end of the third trimester, they want to check to see if you're dilated. And this can put bacteria, foreign bacteria, from their glove or from instruments into your vagina, and it can potentially harm your baby if your mucus plug is gone or like things are progressing. So I just want to find out that I'm pretty sure I'll just find out that I'm dilating when I'm dilating, because eventually I will have a baby. So I'm not I feel like this test, or these tests when they want to check you, really aren't very necessary. Those are just the tests that I personally am opting out of. I'm not a doctor, but I think everyone should be informed about the decisions that they're making for their body, or the decisions that their doctor is making for their body. I think it's very important. So yeah, I hope this video was informative, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!